limited production today.
You just go in national.
We're gonna show the podium, we're gonna show the choir and piano. And that's gonna be very.
That's good enough.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep, that works.
So lighting the candles.
No.
Oh, okay. You can do it where there's small. You're gonna be very
Not mine.
talented.
Not mine.
Oh, I don't need, all I need is this, right?
I need a haircut. Oh my God, me too. I'm just like,
It's open on Sundays.
they aren't, they close, they're not even open Saturday or Sunday.
Well, you're gonna need a little luck then. What you got?
Now, so we invoke right here and right now the house of love. I want to invite you in this present moment to simply lower your eyes or close them, to feel the breath as we invoke our awareness to the space and place right here and right now. We are operating from one life, one power, one breath, one heartbeat, one expression. All that is, we are part of, not separate. So we recognize we are at the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living, and we have said yes to sacred service, to song, to an inspirational talk, to fellowship, to the spoken word. We give thanks for all the myriad of elements that make up our service today, both the participants online and in the center, and for holding that vibration and frequency of love and inner peace and compassion. For this and so much more, we give deep thanks that we have said yes to this service right here and right now. And together we say, and so it is. We are going to be doing a sacred quote for today, and it is by Zig Ziglar. Life is an echo. What you send out comes back. What you sow, you reap. What you give, you get. What you see in others exists within you. Take that in. And now we are going to move into the lighting of our candles. During this season of peace, which is happening now through April 4th, we are lighting 2 candles. That is the candle of love and the candle of peace. And each week we are doing a prayer with the intention of representing a different form of religion. Today is Christianity, and the prayer is of Saint Francis. I'm sure many of you know it. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in the giving that we receive. It is in the pardoning that we are pardoned. So at this time, I'd like you to just center yourselves, lower your eyes, feel the candle of love, feel the candle of peace, and I invite you in this stillness of your own mind to bring into awareness any person, place, or thing that you wish to include in these candles. Breathe that in and release. And we have lit our candles for today's service. And now for some more great music.
And only
Let's take that in. Peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Woo! What a big responsibility. If anybody here wants to join our flock of songbirds, just see Erin, and she will hook you up. For a few announcements, you know, the foundational element to our center is really prayer. So we are praying it up all the time in all ways and means. And we have a variety of ways to be supported in prayer. So right after service, we can offer a 1-minute miracle. I'd like my colleagues to stand. We have Reverend Don, we have Reverend Ann, we have Ann Fleming, we have Robert, we have Judy, and we have Linda Steiner, part of the song, and we have Bob. So we have you covered. There are lots of practitioners here to pray you up, so take advantage of it. Otherwise, you can fill out a form. There's a prayer box in the back, a blue sheet of paper, or you can go online. And since we have Reverend Ann with us, you can also Facebook today, type in the text that you would like prayer support. Speaking of today, we are doing our finest with the technology, so we hope our transmission is solid on both platforms. All services are recorded on YouTube. You simply type in the bar, Alaska Center for Spiritual Living, and you can witness all the previous services, including today. All right, there is a prayer table, There's a Season of Peace table on the back. All the contents are free, including a little library, so avail yourself to participating in our season. We have several things that are coming up. We have something happening every week. First and foremost, we have a weekly meditation that happens on Wednesday with Reverend Linda. We also have currently a social meditation with Gail Jackson. That is on Thursdays from 7 to 7:30. The place to go is our website. Everything's there, and there's links. So you can go to the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living website and look for the calendar feature, and there you will connect to the links. We're also doing a really awesome book study, and it's rare that you get to do one with the actual author. So this is the book, and Reverend Ann is going to be leading it. She's in the back, so if you want more details, you can. But it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a book study. It's a love offering. It's happening on Sundays from 3 to 5 p.m. And Reverend Rachel Hollander was a practicing practitioner and minister here at the center and used to sing and created lots of great music. So it's going to be fantastic. What's it about? It's an insider's guide to navigating the darkness. It's dealing with lovingly and compassionately depression. So either yourself or someone else, or it's going to be a lively book study. We also are seeking individuals who want to help us out with our sound and transmission of our great Sunday services. And that's it. All the rest is really in the emails. If you're not getting the emails, sign up for them. And we host all the content links and opportunities on our website. So thank you for your attention. And now for a little bit more music.
Don't we have a minister's moment?
Oh, we do.
We do.
It is with a heavy heart today that I announce that we have had 2 more bright stars join the eternal ACSL / A-Course Celestial. Reverend Nancy passed away at the end of January. We will be having a service here at the center. It's going to take a little while to collect the things that we need to do to have a service for Reverend Nancy. But we will have something here, and it will be in person. We will also have a link for watching it via Facebook Live if you cannot attend, but the center will be open. We will have full complement of chairs, and everyone is welcome to come back and celebrate the life of Reverend Nancy, to share perhaps some of your stories of how you were touched by this incredible woman. And also, Joe Taylor made her transition late last week. Joe passed away, and many of you will remember Joe and her warm smile and her giggle will always be remembered. And I think I will probably have the lipstick on the top of my bald head. If not physically there, it'll certainly be there in my memory forever. So it is with sadness that we have today's minister's moment. Wow. Thank you, choir. Down in my soul. Well, good morning. Welcome to the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living. It is indeed an honor to be invited into your homes if we are indeed connecting today. You love technology, and it's a wonderful thing when it works. And when it doesn't, it's okay, because we are exactly where we're supposed to be, and we are doing exactly what we are supposed to do right here, right now. What a wonderful thing. So thank you for coming out. I see the snow let up for a little bit. It's good warm up for later activities today. Not sure what all's going on, but I think there's quite a bit. Our theme for this month is Back to Basics. I'm continuing my 5-part series on Back to Basics. This is the 4th of a 5-part series. And just as a quick overview of what we've covered so far, in case you missed any of them, week 1 we talked about the concept that God is all there is. Now, I want to preface all this by restating that these are my beliefs. And I'm not here to tell anybody what to believe or what to think. I just want to share with you some of my beliefs and share with you some of the things that I've distilled from people like Ernest Holmes and other philosophers and thinkers throughout the ages. And they don't even have to be philosophers, as you'll see in a moment. But we can glean wisdom from any and all places. So these are sort of my interpretations of what a lot of people have said. And at first is that God is all there is. And the way I think of that is that there is no place where God, whatever that is, I'm using that term because it's 3 letters long and easy to say, but you can phrase it however is comfortable for you. The divine creative force of the universe, spirit, the thing itself, however you decide to name or to frame a higher power, then that's just cool with you. I'm going to use the term God because it's easy. So there is no place where God stops and something else begins. That this thing that we call God encompasses all of everything. And so then we continued and we looked at, okay, if we've got this thing that is all powerful, all knowing, everywhere present, what do we know about it? And we don't really know this, but we kind of look at it through the prism of a triune nature. It's kind of like a milk stool with 3 legs. And we looked at the triune nature of this infinite source. And we looked at it as spirit, soul, and body. And then in the second week, we expanded on that a little bit and we looked at what we call a divine creative process. And we looked at those 3 aspects of that infinite thing that we call God. And we came to the conclusion that it can be, analogy can be a seed, soil, plant. That this thing called spirit is thought. It is the thing that we think. It is the thing that preceded all of everything. And then there is a part of that infinite creative force that is the creation, that is the creator. And we call that soul. And we think of that as soil. So we can have the seeds of thought and we put them in the creative medium of soil and we get the effect. We get the plant. And we just discovered that if you want to have tomatoes, it's best to plant tomato seeds. You're not going to get potatoes from tomato seeds. And so if we want to experience a different thing in this life that we live, we can change that experience by changing our original thoughts, by changing our seeds. And then the second part of the second week, we looked at how we frame that and we talked about the power of prayer. And we talked about the efficacy that prayer absolutely actually works. And we laid out what at least I believe to be the most effective way to prayer. We call that affirmative prayer or spiritual mind treatment. And we get to see how we can change those thoughts to create a new reality. And then last week, we talked about, first of all, that we have free will. We are free to choose freedom over bondage. We are free to choose prosperity and abundance over lack and limitation. We're free to choose health over dis-ease. But it's a two-edged sword. We are also free to choose disease. We are free to choose poverty. We are free to choose separation from one another and separation from that ultimate creative force of the universe, God. Well, today the title of my talk is Attraction. And I have 2 major points. First, I'm going to talk about that we live in a reciprocal universe. And then secondly, I'm going to talk about the practice of forgiveness. So we live in a reciprocal universe. What we put forth into the universe is what comes back to us. It is mirrored back to us. What comes around goes around. And I loved our inspirational quote today. Old Zig Ziglar nailed it. That famous philosopher. I don't know if Zig Ziglar was a famous philosopher. I kind of doubt it. I think he was a salesman. But whatever it was, this rings so true. Life is an echo. What you send out comes back. What you sow, you reap. What you give, you get. And what you see in others exists in you. That can be a little uncomfortable. I remember when our kids one year went to camp, teen camp, and they came back and they had a phrase that they'd picked up there. What you're looking at, you're looking with. You know, what we judge in others is something that is already within us. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, life is the mirror of king and slave. In other words, this principle applies to everyone all the time. He goes on to say, if you want a friend, be a friend. It's really quite simple. If you want a friend, be friendly, and you will attract friends. If you smile, people almost will inevitably smile back. I've relayed this story to you before about going through the grocery store with Susan, and I thought that was the most friendly grocery store I ever met in my life. But walking down the aisles, and the grumpiest old geezer, frown on his face, everything else. By about the third time we met on the next aisle down, even the grumpy old guy was smiling. What we put forth comes back to us. So my second point today is forgiveness, the practice of forgiveness. A man by the name of Karsten Mathiasson in Sweden was consumed with rage. His wife had left him for another man, and he was angry, he was hurt, he was going through severe depressions. He was really in a bad way, and finally his daughters convinced him that he should go meet with his ex-wife's new lover. And they arranged to meet at a Copenhagen coffee shop. And they didn't have one cup of coffee. They had many, many cups of coffee. They spent the entire day in this coffee shop. And what Karsten came to realize was that his way out of his own misery was through forgiveness. I had to get this down so I have it right. Karsten Mathiasson, forgiveness was a great gift that I gave to myself. We think of forgiveness as something that we do for the sake of someone else. And while there may be something to that, I don't know. What we do know from a scientific standpoint is that it is not nearly the whole story. A gentleman by the name of Dr. Robert Enright. He is the founder of the International Forgiveness Institute. He's the author of several books, including The Forgiving Life and 8 Keys to Forgiveness. He's been researching the power of forgiveness for over 3 decades. So you don't have to take the word of a short, fat, bald guy and preaching in Alaska. There's some solid science behind all of this. And what Robert Enright wrote, what he stated was, when people engage in forgiveness, it changes their physiology. Your actual physiology changes when you practice forgiveness. It helps you get rid of what we call toxic anger, the type that can literally kill a person. In a 2009 study published in the Journal of Psychology and Health, Enright and his team examined the effects of forgiveness on heart health and cardiac patients. They found that those subjects who had engaged in forgiveness experienced significantly improved cardiac blood flow even for months after forgiving had taken place. More blood to your heart. They found that those subjects who had engaged in forgiveness experienced significantly improved cardiac blood flow even for months. And physiological, these findings make absolute sense because they found that when thoughts of anger and revenge invade your brain, both halves of the autonomic nervous system are engaged at the same time. The sympathetic nervous system, which charges you up, and this parasympathetic, which generally calms you down, are both engaged. And the way I came to think of this, okay, you're sitting in your car, you turn on the car, pull on the e-brake, you put your foot down on the brake really hard, and then you drop that baby into gear and you floor it. You're going to have a really, really rough ride. And that's exactly what's going on in your body until you can step into that thing of forgiveness. And when you can forgive, you can release that e-brake. You can take your foot off the brake and you can gently push the accelerator. But you say, okay, Don, you sold me on this. I need to be forgiving. How do I go about forgiving? Well, Guidepost magazine this month just came out. Has a thing in there, and I love it the way this comes to be. And it is 12 steps to forgiveness. We'd be here all day if I went through all 12 steps. So I took the 4 steps that really resonated with me. It started off with a story by Sabra Ciancanelli. I think she might be Italian. Could be Irish, I don't know. But Sabra told a story of her kindergarten class. She's in kindergarten, and another little girl stole her favorite toy. And this was more than just a favorite toy. This was her security blanket. This was something that she kept to remind her that she was okay. And when the other little girl stole it, she was heartbroken. She carried that all the way through school. At the 20th year anniversary reunion of her graduating class, who was there but that girl? And so she is some 32 years later, and she still felt the feelings of resentment and hurt that she experienced as a little girl from having that toy stolen. And then, as so often happens, the universe, God's Spirit, the thing itself, squeezed them together right next to each other in the buffet line. And as the other girl spoke, she relayed how she had hated school. She didn't ever feel like she was enough. She didn't ever feel like she was good enough. And she hated school, and she hated being there. And in that moment, Sabra realized that maybe that little toy was more important for her to have than it was for Sabra. And so she just stepped back and she let it go. And in that moment, she felt forgiveness wash over her. And she felt that forgiveness go, and those 32 years of anguish and pain and hurt were washed away. It went up in a cloud of smoke, and they were gone. So the 12 actions that Sabra identified, I picked out 4 of them. The first, and to me that's probably the single most thing, is you have to decide to forgive. You have to make the conscious decision to do it. This gets back to our seed soil plant. You have to plant the seed. You have to have the intention in a beginning to do that. Forgiveness changes the present, not the past. So you have to make the decision, and you can. The second way, surrender the idea that you are right. We've talked about this before. We don't always know everything that's going on. We don't always know if maybe that little girl that took the toy was hurting just as much, if not more, than you are. Surrender the idea that you are right. The third thing was to write down words that you have longed to hear. Write down those words that you've wanted to hear for so long. So when I went through this exercise and I got ready to write down those words, it was quite a shift, because I realized that in this hurt, in this thing that I had been carrying around for all these years, I had a part in it. I was in that exchange up to my neck. Maybe forgiveness wasn't the thing that it was, or maybe that form of forgiveness needed to be different than I expected it to be, and that led right next to the last point. The fourth one that I did is forgive yourself. And when I got to that point, I realized that there was just as much self-forgiveness to go on as there was to the other party. It's time to release the guilt and shame. It's okay. A prisoner in another one of the myriad of forgiveness articles I read this week, but it was a prisoner in one of these wrote something that I just have to share with you. Forgiveness is letting go of all hope for a better past. So, conclusion. What I want you to take away today is attraction. Wait a minute, you said your title of your talk was attraction. You never said one word about attraction. Is this another one of your bait and switch things? No. It's that the things that we talk about are really the law of attraction in action. We begin to put these metaphysical principles that we have been talking about for now 4 weeks, we're starting to put those into good use. When we become friendly, we attract friends. It's that reciprocal universe. And when we forgive, we are releasing our own pain and hurt. We are attracting compassion. So with that in mind, I would invite the practitioners, the licensed practitioners, really and everyone, for we're all practitioners, I would invite everyone to join me in embracing the awareness of the presence of that infinite power, God, within ourselves and our lives. And knowing that as we go through life, we can change the conditions by changing what we do. We can change the conditions through forgiveness. We can change the conditions by planting new seeds. We can plant the seeds of compassion instead of the seeds of resentment. We can plant the seeds of joy instead of the seeds of fear and doubt. We can plant seeds of prosperity and abundance instead of seeds of lack and limitation. And we can plant the seeds of our own awareness of the power and the presence of God within our lives. And we can no longer plant seeds of a false belief in separation from one another and separation from God. And we can let go of the hurt. We can let go of anxiety. We can let go of shame and guilt and simply embrace the fact that we are beings of love. And so we just give thanks. We give thanks to our awareness of the power and the presence of God. And so we just give thanks. We let it go. We let it be. And so it is. Amazing things. Everybody knows that's one of my favorites. Oh. So this is the time in the service where we are afforded the opportunity to it's easy for you to say, participate in another one of our spiritual practices, that being the practice of circulation. Recognize some of the people that are online today. Dana from Florida, Carla Copenhaver, yeah. Lynn and Marion, Yukon Beulah, Judith Mack, Candace Moore, Trish Wade, Sandra Thomas, and Elena Habib. Do not know Elena. Thank you for joining us. We do have just time for a little joke.
Yes.
Not a. Well, Ann and I were out walking with Joy, and a cross-country ski team, little guys, came by. And one of the little skiers came by, and he says, "Hey, mister, you want to hear a joke?" I said, "Yeah, sure, what you got?" And he says, "How's come oceans roar?" I said, "I don't know. Why do oceans roar?" He says, "If you had crabs on your bottom, you'd roar too."
I love it.
So we have to find the metaphysical meaning of this. You can choose to either roar or just suffer with your crabs. So.
Or be crabby.
Or be crabby. Join me in our affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, and so it is. Ta-da! Got it. I got a duel.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You're a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
So as the face of God, we also are the heart of God. So right here and right now, I invite you to join me with some static. I invite you right here and right now to just gently close your eyes as we close out our service. As the face of God, as the heart of God, we give thanks that we've been inspired, something has been activated, transformed, transmuted. We leave this space and place a little brighter and lighter, filled with love and inner peace. We say yes to all the qualities of God. And so for this and so much more, we give deep thanks that we could be present, awake, aware, and engaged. And together we say, and so it is.